Hello and welcome to this edition of ELCAT News. I'm Cameron Sutton. At Monday's meeting of the school committee, Assistant Superintendent for Business Pamela Blair presented the quarterly school budget report. Blair noted increases in new special education costs for the district.
So on the bottom section of page 4 shows the expense side of the budget. You will notice that the 2 out-of-district tuition accounts are in the negative. There have been several unanticipated out-of-district tuition expenses that have occurred. During the second quarter, there have been 5 new out-of-district placements, 2 of which have been through DCF.
3.
I'm so sorry, you're right, 3 have been through DCF. Furthermore, 5 existing out-of-district placements had program changes, increasing the tuition for each. The unanticipated expenses are a 24.8% increase over what was projected for out-of-district placements.
How do you lose it? This doesn't happen to us more often.
Yeah,
And
it
so I
is.
really think that
better way to put it.
I know you're working in-house, both of you, but I think we may, as a school committee, have to take a step and maybe relay some of this communication to town council, town manager, et cetera, because there's no way we can, I think, that's quite a bit of money. We're talking $400,000.
$400,000, that's correct.
It's, you know, in the past, town council's always been sensitive to the fact, when it comes to special education, we do have unanticipated costs.
Sure.
And I think, maybe not right now at this moment, but I think it behooves maybe the chair, the superintendent, to maybe contact town council or town manager at some point.
Superintendent Gordon Smith explained the impact on budget planning for the upcoming fiscal year.
The discussion that just took place regarding the unanticipated increase in out-of-district tuition does have an effect as you carry it over and you start to look at level services for the next fiscal year. And so what we did last week is we started to go through those projections, and as you can see as you go down the cover sheet here, the last year when we were looking at level services, it was roughly 2.63%, or just under 800,000. Given some of the current information that we have, we're now looking at level services that's going to be over $1 million, and right now over 4.2%.
Member Sarah Trulio commented that over the long term, investment in programs within the district can potentially reduce the need for outside placement.
When you look at the requests that we're making above and beyond the 4.2%, all of those requests are meant to help
Keep
possibly
students in.
not have out-of-district
Right.
placements.
But I don't,
But
given
that's
the
on us to educate people.
given the history of this town,
Then we need to think
But
about,
is it gonna actually do that? Is it gonna actually do that?
if we don't start to make a
It's not-
case
it's-
for how
you-
education
when you
needs to
put
be
these
funded,
things
then
in
it's gonna
place,
continue
you
to be
can't
this.
expect the return that you're going to keep students in year one.
yeah.
Right.
Right.
The idea is you build the program and you're keeping future
This-
Which I
students.
think when you
mean-
look at these budget requests, we're talking about requests that are going all the way down to preschool. So you are laying a foundation for students staying in district.
But-
You're talking about interventionists being placed at schools to help, again, keep students in district. None of these requests are meant to do anything but to give the students across the district the
Right.
services that they need so that they can remain in the buildings where their families want them to
But-
remain.
The committee will meet again on February 24th. On Tuesday, the 25th, the committee will meet jointly with the town council as directed under Article 6 of the town charter to discuss budget priorities for the upcoming year.
Department of Public
At
Works.
Tuesday's
there was
planning
nothing
board
of
meeting,
substance
petitioners
that they
seeking
wished
site
to
plan
add
approval
to
for a
that.
solar farm development
So,
off of Peace Road
is there any-
were told
I
that
thought you
the
were gonna
board
be
did
in
not
Phoenix.
have the legal authority to waive a frontage
Oh.
requirement as part of its site plan approval process.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I learned at some 5:07 or 5:09 from Mr. Maynard, your town council, that he would not be at this meeting tonight, and that Mr. Pill would be here to discuss the issue of frontage, and an issue that Mr. Maynard had already opined upon to this board several months ago, and this property owner applicant has diligently and faithfully tried to comply with all of the requests in its application, and the frontage issue has not been raised in several months, and you already have your council's opinion. I'm informed tonight by you and by Mr. Maynard, not beforehand, that this issue might arise again and you might seek a separate opinion. I must be frank that it's highly unusual. I think it's unfair to the petitioner, the property owner, to come in here at what has been, the sixth or seventh meeting. The last time, the chairman saying, I'm hopeful that this next meeting will be the last meeting in which there will be a vote. And if the board is expecting to take a new opinion on something and perhaps rely on that in its decision, I think that's way outside the bounds of proper handling of this matter, but we'll see where it goes. Steve made a great effort to be here tonight to wrap up the presentation. I'm not going to address the issues that may arise until when they do.
Attorney Michael Pill was retained by the town as a result of the ruling by Massachusetts Land Court, invalidating a restriction in the town's solar development bylaw intended to prevent solar farms in residential zones.
The land court litigation was brought under two statutes. The planning board is an independent land use regulatory body that has every right to make its own decision on whether this use is allowed in a residential zone. And in effect, that means making its own independent determination. And if that agrees with the land court judge, then basically there's no issue. If it disagrees with the land court judge, then the applicant has a right to appeal.
The parcel in question does not have any frontage in East Long Meadow.
I want you to address, so let's talk about the frontage issue
Okay?
with respect to the planning board's ability to essentially, and please correct me if I interpret this incorrectly, but I believe it was your interpretation that this board could not waive the frontage requirements.
Oh, yeah.
Correct.
Exactly.
And that the town that this petitioner did not have the frontage requirement in East Long Meadow. And if we voted to approve the site plan, it would be invalid because there was no frontage.
And there would be no exhaustion of administrative remedies. Yes, the zoning bylaw is clear that that's a variant subject for the zoning board of appeals.
The developers plan to provide access from an adjoining parcel in Summers, where they have already begun construction of a facility.
PLH has ownership of both the land in Massachusetts and the land in Connecticut, and you cannot grant an easement over your own land. If you think of property as a bundle of rights, by definition, an easement has to be granted over the land of somebody else.
The petitioner requested that the planning board continue the hearing until the zoning board hears the request and rules on the issue.
My client's representative here, we would like to have this matter continued in order to give the applicant an opportunity to digest the memo, receive town council's memo, and make a determination whether or not it is necessary and proper to pursue a variance request on the frontage issue, or to come back to this board and ask it to vote.
And you would request that it be continued to our meeting of March 10th.
That is correct.
Residents visiting Town Hall to make payments, apply for permits, or conduct other business with the various town departments should note that as of this week, several offices have been moved to better serve the public. The clerk's department, where residents may request public records, apply for most permits and licenses, have documents notarized, etc., is now located up the east corridor ramp at the front of the building, where it shares the counter with the collector's office. The health department inspectors and recycling coordinator have been consolidated in the town manager's suite of offices at the end of the south corridor. The assessing department, where residents can find parcel information or apply for property tax abatements, remains just down the south corridor on the right. The building planning and DPW offices are still on the second floor. Residents who are unable to reach the second floor may inquire at the clerk collector's office for assistance. Last weekend, the students in ELHS Drama Club presented the mystery comedy Clue. Here's some scenes from the show.
Excuse me, Mr. Cop. Are you in need of any assistance? Perhaps a phone book?
Hey, the butler asked you a question, copper. Hang up the phone already, or I will.
I'm gonna say it was Colonel Mustard in the lounge with a wrench. I never lounge. You, my good friend. We're not friends. We met tonight. Are you sure about that? Okay, we're friends. You were the one who stole the key off of Wadsworth. You ran straight over here with the wrench and did the deed.
The body crime family has been wanted for generations for blackmail, murder, and organized crime. And you've always eluded the law until now.
You leave my family out of this, you... Is there a doctor in the house? God! I'm melting! I'm slain! I'm food for worms! I'm going! Not quite there yet. Give it up. Just give me another 32 seconds. Oh, there we go! He's dead. Not yet! Dang it! No!
I tell you, this is one of the most exciting nights I've had in a long time. And now, you're all under arrest.
The Recreation Department wants to inform residents that has placed lifelike plastic coyotes at Leahy Field and Heritage Park. The decoys have proven to be an effective deterrent to flocks of geese that foul the playing fields, but they've prompted calls by alarmed residents to the police department as well. And the rec department also wants to announce that it is taking applications for summer staff positions at Pine Knoll in both the aquatics and camp programs. Students may fill out an application available online at elrec.recdesk.com. That's it for this edition of ELCAT News. I'm Cameron Sutton. See you next time.